Hello friends, so glad you decided to join me. In today's class, I'd like to explore two of my favorite postures. Baddha Konasana, which is butterfly in yin, and Upavista Konasana, basically, which we call straddle in yin. The differences between a more active yoga and the yin yoga, of course, is that we don't engage the muscles so much. We try to relax into the postures. So we're going to have a lot of fun. All you need for class today will be a mat, a yoga mat if you have one, maybe a blanket rolled up if you if you have something like that. This is what we call a bolster, a yoga bolster. If you have that, that's great. Any kind of pillows will work. And if you don't have some couch pillows or something like that, you can use. Please don't worry about it. It's absolutely not necessary. The other thing that might be helpful is a couple of blocks. And if you don't have blocks, yoga blocks, then you can also use maybe stacks of books or anything like that, anything that you have around. And again, not really necessary. I'm just going to show you how I use them, and if it looks like something you might be interested in, then you might want to get some for future classes. All right, maybe just stop the video, gather what you need, and we're going to get started. Okay, so in today's class, like I said, the first posture is butterfly. And we're going to start with it as a reclined butterfly. I'm going to prop up with two blocks like this. One's lower, one's higher, just to give me a little bit of height. And when I sink in, this one here will hold me up if needs be. You could also just have your block on the mat or lie flat on the mat. You do not need to have the bolster blocks. You can just lie on your back. Come in. If you do have the props, please just come up probably almost all the way, maybe leave a couple inches, kind of settle yourself and enjoy. So this is what we call a reclined butterfly. The abduction of the hips and some inner thigh tension, some stretching here. So the soles of your feet are together, your knees are just splayed out, and you're lying back either on the floor, on your mat, on a bolster or cushions, or maybe propped up it like I am. Your hands can go wherever you want them to be. If you maybe just open them up a little bit wider to the side, you'll feel a stretch across your chest, which is also really lovely. Close your eyes if that feels okay for you. If you choose to keep your eyes open, that's also great. Just have a soft kind of focus. Don't be really looking at anything. The intention here is to just have a soft kind of focus where you're not really looking at anything. A nice soft gaze. That's another way to say it. In the Sanskrit, it's known as your drishti, your focus point. Notice if it gets to be too much for you on the inner thighs. This is where a blanket, or really two blankets, because you might want one under each thigh, would be really, really handy. You just roll them up and put them under. The other thing, of course, you stay in your posture. I'm moving. Please stay in the posture. The other thing you could do, actually I'll just show it this way, is maybe you're on the bolster, maybe you're on the mat, and you take your blocks and use them as props. So this is to support you if it's just a little bit too much opening, and if there's a little bit of pain maybe that you're feeling on the inner thighs. We don't want pain. All right, one more breath here. Nice, deep inhale. Big Buddha belly, and then exhale, open your mouth. One more like that. Inhale. Become as big as you can, and then exhale out of an open mouth. And to come up out of this one, pushing into your hands, pushing the floor away from you, come to an upright position. For this next, same posture but a different variation on it, we're going to fold forward or really just staying up straight. If you're upright like this and this is enough for you, you're feeling a lot of tension, a lot of resistance, this is your edge, this is where you want to be, then absolutely stay right here. If this is a little bit too much, maybe your lower back is bothering you, there's a couple things you can do. One might be to stay on your back, maybe even without the bolster, just lying flat out on your mat. Or the other thing you could do is to use blankets or blocks, roll them up, roll up your blanket or take your blocks, and maybe just taking your sits bones just off the front of the block there. And this might help you, and it'll also help you to keep a flat back when you're folding forward. If your lower back is bothering you, that's of course what you'll want to do. You don't want to curl that into the lumbar, that lumbar region bothering you, you don't want to curl the back. Okay, so you can choose to stay on your back, choose to prop yourself up, or stay sitting straight like this, or maybe folding over your legs, maybe even bringing your head right down. So wherever you are at, while you're there, so find your comfy position, find that point of resistance, your edge, and please stay there and breathe. I'm going to show another variation for those that might want it. You could even take your bolster or your pillows underneath your legs and fold over that. Maybe that feels better for some of you. I know some days it feels great for me to do it this way. Okay, so that's one variation. Another thing you might do, and I actually do like it, your feet are together, so your feet are, I'm just going to turn a bit so you can see me a little better. Your feet are touching, right? So you're a little further away. You get a diamond shape here and you're folding forward. Okay, so that's lovely. You might have your feet a little closer. I do like to do it like this. I feel a bit more of a stretch on the inner thighs. That's another way. And one more variation here that might feel good for some of you is to take your block, press your feet into that block, and when I do this and I fold forward, I notice the inner thighs. I'm getting a bit more stretch through the inner thighs. Okay, so deciding again what might feel good for you. Choosing one of those, and then once you're there, just stay there, just breathe. So the 3 tattvas, a little reminder for all of you, the tattvas are the principles of the Yin Yoga. One of them is to come to your edge, that place where you're feeling resistance, where you're feeling some tension. You don't want to push through that, because then we engage muscle, and we don't want to do that too much. The other thing is to stay for time, so that encourage that fascia, that interconnective tissue, all the deeper tissues in the body to maybe open up a bit for us and relax the muscles the best we can, that you're with the muscles that within the posture. And the third principle is holding in stillness. So that area of your body that's in that posture, whether it's here or here, wherever you're at, those hips, those legs, knees, feet, and just staying and breathing. So if you can maintain some stillness in the posture, then you can actually start to feel yourself get deeper, feel that opening. Because every time we move, the areas there, like my legs, my hips, I'm adjusting, you know, I'm engaging muscle, and if I'm engaging muscle, then I almost have to start over again to be able to get into that deeper tissue. Okay, anyway. Okay, so wherever you're at, 2 more breaths. Do these as we call the shared breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth with as much noise as you feel like giving today. So inhale and open your mouth and exhale. One more. Inhale and release. Pushing your hands into the floor, making your way upright. Oh, that's wonderful. wonderful. Before we go into the next posture, which is straddle, I will invite you to just take a moment on your back. Lying down. Just settling in, releasing everything. Just be heavy on the mat, like a little mini savasana for you. So inhaling. And maybe open the mouth and exhale. Notice when you do that, do you get heavier on the mat? Do you notice yourself sinking a little deeper into your props, into the floor? Inhaling again through the nose, and then keeping the mouth closed this time, just exhaling as well out the nose. A couple more like this. With each breath, noticing that if there was a buzzing or if there was kind of some aggravation in the body, any of that, any kind of, just tension, feeling, pulsing, just noticing that gets a little less and a little less until you come back to that starting point, to that neutral starting point. One more breath. You can open your mouth and release it if you choose. And then coming all the way back up. I'm going to actually move these over here. Where am I going to put them? Maybe over here. Okay. So straddle is one of my favorites. This is called my favorites. And it's a wide-legged. Okay, so here we are. If you notice that when you get into the wide-legged straddle posture, that maybe you're sinking back, okay? And I will show the side view. I really want you to know what I'm talking about. If your legs are nice and wide here, you're sitting up, but your back like this, then you want to make your way up. You want to tilt that pelvis. And one of the ways to do that is either with a rolled up blanket or using your block or a cushion, anything. So you're just getting up a little bit of height, rolling your sits bones just off the edge if you're using a block, just to get your lower back and your whole back body into a better neutral position for you. You're not sinking back. So once you've got this, stay here nice and still and breathe. Just enjoy it. I'm going to start just in a nice neutral seated position. Maybe even taking your hand. I like to put my hands behind me, push the floor away, and find length in my back body, my whole torso. It's like I take the weight off of my sits bones, off of my hips, off of the bottom body. And breathe here. Couple more breaths. So while you're here, noticing how it feels in your body to be in this posture. If your hamstrings are incredibly tight, this may not feel good. So what you might want to do is bend those legs. This might not feel good either because now you're kind of suspended. So taking your bolster, although that might be a little bit too much. Bolsters are kind of big here. Mine is anyway. So any kind of pillows, maybe smaller pillows would be better. Under the two knees, or even the blocks. The blocks can work. You just want support. There we go. So maybe that, oh, there we go. So maybe that feels better for some of you. That's fine. So do what you need to do. Get yourself set up. And if you're okay leaving your legs straight, nice and wide, then do that. And then from here, we're going to start folding forward. Don't feel obligated to come into a forward fold. You might be getting a great stretch just sitting nice and high up, maybe on a cushion, maybe your hands are behind you. If this is lovely and juicy and you are feeling all kinds of resistance, please stay here and breathe into this. Breathe where you need it. Find the space, find the opening. If you would like to experience the forward fold in this posture, inhale to find length, and as you exhale, start folding forward, okay, to wherever you can. It might actually feel nice to come in little increments. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll start here, then I come here, then here, then here, then here. So not that quickly. Each one of those steps might be a minute, might be 30 seconds, whatever it needs to be, and not moving forward further until you know that you've settled and you're okay and you can go further. We're not trying to engage muscle. We're not trying to hurt ourselves. We're not trying to come flat on the floor just to look good. What we're trying to do is open the hips, find space in there, find some opening in the inner thighs, and really increase flexibility and moisture in the joints, and really enjoying the benefits of this posture. So the benefits don't come just because you're lying, flat forward. They come when you get to that point of resistance for time, and you hold it in stillness. So you can notice my legs have been nice and still here. It'd be nice if I could keep my upper body still as well. Come on down to wherever you can. Just breathe. Okay, wherever you're at, stay there. Some things you could do is if you can't come all that forward and you're thinking, oh, I can't do that. Well, I couldn't a while back either. No worries, you will. Not in this life, in your next life. So you might want a block or 2 blocks, or you might even take your bolster, lay over your bolster, because I'm going to tell you that feels good, okay? The other thing that maybe will feel good for you, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm leaning forward, but I'm putting my forehead on the bolster, okay? So that might be for some of you. Or simply just sitting upright. Don't need to fold forward. It's not an actual requirement of this posture. Wherever you're at, staying there for a couple more breaths. Noticing, where do you feel this? Where is there tightness in the body? And is it the same on the 2 sides of the body? Does one side feel tighter? What's going on internally? Notice if you hold it for a few breaths, does your body actually invite you to maybe come a little bit deeper? Only go deeper, only fold forward further if your body is asking you to and inviting you to. And you'll know. You'll just have this urge and you'll want to. So it's not going to be your mind telling you, it's going to be your body. It's going to be feelings within your body. Alrighty. Please, pushing the floor away from you. Make your way all the way upright. Maybe grabbing your knees underneath, bringing your feet, your legs together. You could try a little bit of the windshield wiper movement if that feels good in your body. Or maybe even just side to side with the feet. And when you're ready, make your way onto your back one more time. Staying here in your Savasana. Allow your body to be heavy on your mat. Find softness in your face. Relaxing your arms, relaxing your feet, your legs, your hands. Relaxing your whole body. Inhaling deeply, exhaling deeply. 10 long, long exhales. So staying in your Savasana for as long as you like. Thanks for joining me. This has really been my honor to offer this class to you, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed offering it to you. Namaste. Thank you. See you soon.